Hello there. This is a purely experimental stream tonight. I may or may not keep it up. I may unlist this. We'll see how it goes. But basically, I wanted to kind of do some experimental viewing. Let me check something here real quick. Yeah, so I'm basically wanted to kind of, oh hey, hi, thanks for the like. I'm basically wanting to do an experiment with, I have my Seestar S50 sitting outside, and I haven't powered it on, so I was going to basically kind of start an observing session, kind of right now, shortly, and yeah, just starts doing some images. Like I say, this is kind of an experimental thing. So let me see. I'm just getting it going on my app, and hopefully, yeah, great, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. But yeah, so let me switch to this other camera that I have set up. Again, it's kind of a tethered camera, but it'll become apparent in a moment. So let me switch to this. Okay, you'll see blurriness, but you won't in a moment. I'm standing right next to the door, and let me release this. So you can see, basically, there's Orion, and as you can see, I have like houses right behind me, so that kind of complicates things. But that's basically what we're going to be imaging, at least initially. I might do some other things, but just, man, that is so bright. I had it set to like this super low level of light. I have to manually focus it. Hi, Chester. Good evening. Isn't it really late for you? But yeah, let me focus this a little bit. Okay, so actually I put this down prematurely. Let's start up the Seestar. I moved it from one tripod to another. So here we have, wow, this actually is even too dark for this. Let me boost the, yeah. So you can see the Seestar is right here. It's this dark thing right here. It is charging. Sorry for the focus. And I have it plugged in to a power bank on the ground. And so it's just sitting out on a tripod. Let me turn it on. I basically have it, I have like it does these voice prompts where you can, where it'll say it's on and stuff. I have those turned off. So it's powered on, but it's going through its boot up sequence right now. So I'm right next to a door. So let me switch back to a more reasonable ISO for now. Sorry. Again, this is highly experimental. So, there we go. I didn't want to flip back and forth. I didn't want to flip. Oops, what did I just do? Whoa, sorry. I just like suddenly boosted the ISO to some crazy value. Anyway, I didn't want to switch back and forth between cameras, but in retrospect, maybe I should have. Okay, so here I am. So let me switch to, I have split screen. Yeah, let me switch to the picture-in-picture. And let me sit. Okay, so let's connect. Join. And it's thinking about it. Question is it still, is it actually, oh, there we go. We're up and running. So now, as you saw, as you may have seen, I'm not sure if, I think Orion has cleared the house behind me, but I only have, and the problem is right now, it's really windy out in the backyard. And so let me adjust this camera downward a little bit so I'm not like looking completely down at it. Okay, yeah, so the it's really dark in this room. You wouldn't know it from this camera, but this room is like completely blacked out, almost completely dark. Yeah, so it's really windy in the backyard right now, and so I put the telescope right next to the house. But even on a good, even if I was able to put it a little farther away from the house, our backyard isn't that big, and so I only have like a 40-degree view of the sky, and not even 40 degrees up, and kind of like a strip along the sky. So it's not great. So let's see what we're going to do. Let's see if we can get to Orion. Oh, one thing I didn't do is I didn't check to see if this thing is level. Oh well. We'll see how it is. We will see how it goes. So the telescope I had turned on, I turned it on, but it was still kind of in its stowed position where it was facing downward. Let me see if I can. The problem is when I had it in this camera in autofocus mode, it, there we go. I think we got, wait, what's that star? No, that's not the star. That's from, yeah, never mind. I thought oh yeah, there we go. Just like that. Just like that. So there's the Orion core. And the Seestar is still kind of, and you notice now it's like trying to center it. There we go. This sometimes takes a little bit. Like I say, it's windy right now, so, oh, there we go. So yeah, the Orion Nebula is well centered. I don't see any obstructions, so let me go ahead and you can see the light pollution filters on. So again, I'm in like this Bortle 8-9 kind of sky situation. So let's just go ahead and start taking it. Now it has to go through like the dark frame calibration. So yeah, takes about a minute supposedly. I do want to do this again, and I might do more of a presentation or cover other material while it's taking photos, because I'm probably not going to spend too much time per target, because otherwise this will be kind of, might not be the most exciting thing. Not that it needs to be exciting, but you know what I mean. So we are almost there. I'm holding the phone in front of me, watching what you're seeing, the calibration. Okay, it's done. Now it's starting to capture the frames. And after like the first one, it looks pretty awesome. And then subsequent ones, it gets even better. Okay. Yeah, see? Now this is... Hi there, Allison. Thanks for joining. This is kind of an experiment, so I'm just kind of winging it here. We actually had a couple of... oh, thanks. Thanks, Chester. I appreciate it. I have been kind of putting together a more condensed version, but also more elaborate version of the serial, kind of like a quick start guide. But I've started it. I've started getting this stuff together and some more examples, but I haven't. I hope to get it out in the next few days. But yeah, like I say, I'm just kind of winging this. So, but yeah, as you can see, it starts producing results pretty quickly. Like we're only 1 minute into the exposure, and it's nice. It's and plus I'm in particularly pathological skies, so I think if I can get these kind of images, people can get, anybody can. Oh, so that's what I was thinking. What I was saying, I just kind of did this like I thought of doing this today because we've had a bunch of rainy days, and we had like 2 nights in a row, and I think tonight's might be the last night of clear skies for a few days. So I thought, I need to kind of test out some of this anyway, and I was kind of inspired to go ahead and try it out. One thing, my camera and microphone are running off battery through my DSLR, so if the audio and video go blank, or at least my image go blank, I'm going to have to swap out the battery. I have a couple of spares right here, so yeah. Now, one thing I do like about this is are there apps on an iPad that let you process photos? That's a good question. I don't currently... We have iPads in the house, but I don't currently have one. I don't recall seeing if any of those programs... like, I don't think Serial is available for the iPad. And even then, a lot of times... Well, okay, I take it back. So there are photo editing software. I think like Affinity Photo is available for iPad, I think. Like I have the version for the Mac, and it's very feature rich. And it lets you, it does, at least the Mac version has some astronomically oriented kind of features. Like, because some people don't do... There's a lot of different things people do with astrophotos. Some people just process them using software like PixInsight or Serial. PixInsight or Serial, and then they do some of their post-processing in something like Photoshop or Affinity Photo. And there's some people who actually do like whatever they're doing specifically, they're able to do a lot of it in Photoshop or Affinity Photo. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that they would be missing some of the features in Photoshop. I don't know about Affinity Photo. That might be more feature rich. It wouldn't completely surprise me. But I'll have to look into that. That's actually an interesting question. Because like I often have my laptop with me, but I have thought about that where you're kind of out in the field, as it were, figuratively or literally. And it would be nice to be able to do some of the processing on like an iPad. Now, if you're running the app, it only downloads the JPEG to your device. But I do wonder, like if I plug my Mac into, if you plug a computer into the Seestar, it shows up as a drive, and then you can copy off like all the subframes and like the fit files, all those fit files. And I do wonder, because like we do this with our see that stack failure there at the top. It's kind of windy and I didn't level it, so I had leveled it yesterday, so I don't know how the leveling is right now. But as I was saying, we have like one of the USB-C iPads in the house, and we'll plug it into a mirrorless camera, and you can pull the photos off of it directly. And I do wonder if like you could do that with a Seestar to an iPad, but I haven't actually tried it. So that's a good question. Now I'm curious. But if you find out, please comment on this or whatever. Let me know. But I'm kind of curious now. Actually, so while this is processing, I'm kind of curious what the leveling looks like. So advanced feature, adjust level. Let's see what yeah. So it's saying I can't do it because it's processing. I may go ahead and stop the processing. Because although I like this, I like how quickly it's gotten the image. I wouldn't mind having it kind of like a little bit further to the side, so we could kind of capture more of the nebulosity that's out here. So I'm actually going to stop this, and I'm going to check the level. Let's see. Like I say, this is all unscripted, unplanned. Whoa! Look at that. That's not good. So that's interesting. We will fix that. I'm not sure how well this will actually work, because I want to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. But let's switch. Actually, this might be interesting. Again, this is all kind of. I'm going to switch to the full view here, so I can check the focus. Because again, I turned off. Why isn't it focusing? Did I bump a switch here? That is interesting. Hold. I'm still in focus. Did I slide this? Sorry, I shouldn't. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's really dark, so let me try cranking up the brightness so you can see. Okay. It was a journey, but we got there. So I can go. I've got a tripod here, and hopefully I can do this without like knocking everything over. So as you can see, I might end up having to. As you can see, let me tweak the focus here. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do the picture-in-picture. So you can kind of see, actually this might work, because I can, oops, can you see? Yeah, so you can see there's these knobs here, and I can, if I adjust them, there, see, look, I'm able to kind of get the circles closer together, theoretically. I feel like I'm getting them further apart. Which way? There. There we go. And you can hear, you might be able to hear outside the jet. That's how I was able to get, do you hear? Yeah. That's how I was able to get the footage of the jet going over the sun, because I'm not that far from an airport. Maybe about 4 miles. All I know is the planes have their, am I getting it further away? I feel like I'm getting it further away. There we go. There we go. There we go. But yeah, that was way out of level. So that's probably why it was, that certainly wasn't helping with the rejected frames. I mean, I've been able to get this down to 0.1, but I don't think I want to spend, oh, there you go. Yeah, I may. Of course, then once you start getting closer, you're like, oh, I'm so close. But then you get further away, and then you're like, oh. Anyway, I may just leave it at that. It's a lot better than it was. So, now the one problem I see it almost like, it's almost like there's high haze out there now. Actually, I can demonstrate. Let's see what it looks like through this thing. Yeah, actually you can kind of see. It looks like there's like some high clouds or something have come in. I don't know. But kind of annoying. But this is the issue I've been having recently, is it's either what do you call it? There we go. Where it'll seemingly be clear, but then these high clouds kind of come in. I'm using a quick release, but it's not as quick as it could be. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the calibration is a lot better. So let's try this. Let me go back to, oh, one other thing. Sometimes I end up doing the turning on the dew heater. So let's go back and see. See, it claims it's on M42, but I'm not sure that it is. So I'm going to move that. This is in the kind of the sky Atlas software. So I'm going to try. And so you can see where it had two rectangles. One was where the telescope thinks it's pointing, and one where the target you're going for. And you notice it kind of thought it had gone, and then suddenly one of the rectangles went way off. Since I'd been adjusting it, the level, it ended up, I messed up the alignment, and so it ended up pointing slightly different in the sky, but it figured it out and then corrected itself. Yeah, so see how I wanted this a little bit more to the side, and I can like do some fine control. Oops, wrong way. I always do that half the time. But I can do a little bit of fine control of the position. So I'm just going to leave it at that and then go ahead and start. So yeah. So after this, I'm going to try to go look at the Horsehead Nebula. Whoa, did you see that? Wow. See how the stars are very wow. No, so this happens. It's windy out there, and unfortunately, where yeah, see, it's having a hard time right at the moment. Kind of the houses, the way they're lined up, it creates like this wind tunnel. And it's back where I didn't want it to be. Like, that wasn't the framing I wanted. Oh well. Anyway, maybe it just corrected itself, or went back to where it thought it should be. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to bail on this. I'm going to try the Horsehead. But basically, when the wind's just the wrong direction, it kind of comes up between the houses, and it's like super windy in the backyard. And unfortunately, that's the way it is tonight. So I'm just going to manually. You can search for the Horsehead, but like if I go, Horsehead, I mean, it'll go to basically where I had pointed it, but like slightly offset. And so now it's identifying. It should be pretty quick because of the, yeah, that was super quick. Okay. But one thing, see, as the night wears on, there's like this field rotation. And so you see, like, I can get the Flame Nebula and like the Horseheads off the screen. But when I was taking photos like a couple hours later last night, the Horsehead was more underneath the Flame Nebula, so I was able to get both of them in one shot. So I'm not going to be able to do that right now. And I don't think I'm going to be online for another hour. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can just go with, we'll just go with that. I'm going to go back to, so let's see this. Now the Horsehead's a bit darker, so the Horsehead Nebula is a bit darker, so it takes a little bit longer to start kind of seeing the Horsehead. Well, I say that, but a lot of times after one or two frames, you can start seeing, you can kind of see, like here's some nebulosity, and like here's some of the nebulosity, but it's really faint. After maybe within a minute, you can start seeing it, definitely. Now the other thing is I think the moon's already risen here, but I don't remember 100%. But yeah, this is usually pretty underwhelming in the beginning. The first time I took a photo of this with this telescope, I was like, am I even pointing at the right thing? But then within a minute or two, I could. The other thing you can see, it's pretty grainy. There's a lot of noise in the image, which it will clean up some of that, and you can always clean up some of it after the fact. Like I've had some pretty good results with Topaz. It's only up to 30 seconds. I can kind of see it. Yeah, I can see it right here. I mean, it's only got 30 seconds of exposure time, so it's not completely surprising. And I do wonder if it would be less grainy if I was in a darker location. Wow, look at that lens flare. Dang. Or did it move? Like, did it get jostled? Like it had a stacking error there. Like the gusts, I think, were like to 20 or 30 miles per hour. So this might end up being another kind of just waiting for another frame to show up. It's only at 50 seconds still. So unfortunately, I've found this is sometimes the case where, specifically where I am, that it's either like too windy. I mean, we're not that far from the coast, so it can be pretty windy here, and it's very flat. And plus the light pollution is just terrible. So the good thing is, since it is automated, I put it outside, and like you saw, there's a battery bank. It's plugged into a battery bank, so I can just, even if a half hour worth of exposure takes an hour to gather it, it doesn't matter. I just kick it off, and periodically I take a look. Okay, yeah, it's starting. You can definitely start seeing the horse head there. But it is a fainter target. Does anybody, if anybody who's on, have any requests or something? Because I can kind of look around the Sky catalog while it's collecting data here. Because one of the problems I have is, but one of the constraints I have is because I have such limited sky, there's a lot of stuff I won't be able to see. So Orion is up, but like Crab Nebula I could probably do, but that one's not like super bright. Triangulum Galaxy I can't, because that's already to the west, and I basically can't see anything to the west from my backyard. It's kind of a major drag. It really is. I've thought about doing this, doing another one of these from a family member's house in the suburbs of Houston, and it's probably still a Bortle 7 or 8. But the bigger thing is there's less sky obstructions, which would let me start earlier and see more targets at a given time. Let's see, Bode's Galaxy, Pac-Man Nebula. I think Pac-Man's already, yeah, northwest. I can't see that. It's really a drag. I'm thinking of doing a video where I go somewhere elsewhere, where to a darker sky location, to like a Bortle 3 or 2, maybe even a Bortle 1. But let's see, what What Messier objects? Yeah, see, it's like getting these stack failures. That thing that popped up. Let's see what Messier objects are. Crab Nebula. It's kind of nice. Like you can go in if there's a specific target you want, you can search for it, or if you can just, like this is just browsing the entire Messier catalog. Most of the stuff isn't up right now. Andromeda, it's at 29 degrees, but again, it's to the west, so I can't see it from my backyard. Some of these clusters are visible. Those can be kind of cool. Salt and pepper cluster, that shows results pretty quickly. Little beehive, that's still too low, I think. Again, if stuff, I can see stuff to the east, but if it's too low, if the altitude's too low, I can't see it. Open cluster, yeah, too low. You know, one thing I did recently was that's low, Leo triplet. That was kind of cool. Let me see. You should see the trees. Yeah, I mean, trees are nice. They're pretty. They're kind of a drag if you want to see certain things, but unfortunately I don't. For me, it's houses, so it's not even trees. I'm just having issues. I have issues with trees, with houses. The good thing is I feel like if I can see some of these things, other people should have no problem. So M95 and M96, I'm gonna do those at some point, but like they're too low. Like those are visible. I can see those like after midnight. But I think that might be, in another month or two, that might be a good target to go for. What was it? What did I think I could see? Oh, one of these clusters. I mean, they're kind of cool. Like the salt and pepper cluster is kind of neat. Yeah, let me do that one. Let me just see where this exposure stands. It's only up to 3 minutes. Oh yeah, but see, look, you can definitely see this, the horse head there. But look at this artifact from. I mean, granted, this is one of the. This is a particularly bright star. This is one of the belt stars of Orion, so it's quite a bright star. So it's not completely surprising, but like, you know, but like, look at this. Are those flares from those stars? Those must be flares, because you can see, like, this one has a flare. I wonder if there's some kind of, or there was, the telescope was jostled in the same direction. But that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this, but you kind of get the idea. It's to like get a decent photo of this, I'd have to get at least another half hour of data, and with all these stacking errors I'm getting, probably because of the wind, I mean, it would take probably another hour, so I'm gonna stop that. So, but you know, it's nice. So let's go to the atlas, and whoops. Oh, okay. Messier. I was like Do I want to do the salt and pepper? Is that the one I thought would be cool? Like that one. And the other thing, you know, when you see a lot of these examples, either in apps or in the internet, like they've taken the photos in much darker skies, or even worse, I'll see this amazing photo. Like I saw this amazing photo of Orion. I think it was Orion, the Orion Nebula, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, wow, that is an amazing photo. And I go look at it, and it was like taken with the Hubble Space Telescope, and I'm like, well, that isn't quite a fair comparison. Like, it was taken with a multi-billion-dollar space telescope. I mean, like, but it was a pretty photo, and it can see in wavelengths that you'd be hard pressed to do from the ground. So let's see what this comes up with. At some point, I need to more precisely figure out the constraints of my backyard. Like, I can't do it from the Seestar app, but I need to see if, like, with some of the other some of the other software you can use to control other telescopes, like not the Seestar, but like other scopes, if you can kind of more accurately map out kind of the sky, because that's an issue I have. So the filter's on, you can see, but because since this is a star cluster, I'm going to turn it off. And see, look, you can immediately, like, those are stars. That's not, let's start taking an exposure. So this is M37, the salt and pepper cluster. Now, it's not like, it's more of an open cluster, so it's not like a globular cluster, the ones you sometimes see that's like a big ball of stars, but it's still got a decent amount of stars. Whoa, are these like, look at that, they're trailed. But see, it's not showing any time accumulated. The telescope is having some problems. Not the telescope, it's dealing with some windy conditions. One thing I've thought about doing, because this is a recurring problem I have here, I mean, talk about obstacles. Like, I can't see the sky, because I can't see most of the sky because of buildings. I have heavy light pollution, heavy haze. It's often humid. In the summer, I have, like, over half the year, I have terrible mosquito issues because Houston is very swampy, to put it nicely. And then, anyway, so the windiness, I've thought about having like a little screen, not a screen, but like a tent with no roof. They have these things that kind of block the wind a little bit. I've thought about it because I have these issues on a regular enough basis. But now it's finally starting to get some data and some, and this isn't bad. Like, this is 30 seconds. That's why this is a nice little target, because it's like, and you can kind of see the salt and pepper effect. It's a combination of bluer and yellower stars. I forget the specifics of it, but yeah, and it again, the pop-up that it had to drop an image because of star trails. And again, it's been calibrated, so it's got to be purely wind at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice. There's a few of these star clusters that you know, you can get within. I mean, from my house, within a few minutes, you get a nice exposure or less. I mean, it's kind of, oh no, it's finally 40 seconds. But yeah, it's not even a minute of exposure, and there's so many stars. It's kind of neat. I get a kick from it. Oh, one thing I was going to show. I'm going to switch to this view. I started off, sorry, I'm blurry here because I don't know autofocus. When I started astrophotography when I started astronomy when I was a teenager, a few years ago, more than a few years ago, I mean, it was all film-based. If you did astrophotography, and like it was difficult to do that. Like you had to have really good polar alignment to do that. And so I didn't mostly. I have almost no photos from that time. I did do a lot of visual astronomy, and so I got reasonably good at that and reading star maps because it was all non-computerized. Like you had physical star maps, and like there was the circular ones that would kind of give you an overview of like the constellations, but then you'd have ones that were like, if you remember, key maps, like paper maps where you would kind of drill down into like more specific parts of the sky. I think I have some of them still in a storage somewhere. I need to dig those out. But with like the Seestar, you can't look through it, but a lot of other telescopes you can look through it, and I do like looking at the sky, although the results aren't nearly as impressive in some ways, but they can be satisfying. I had forgotten I had this. This is like one thing I did a lot of over the years is just if you're at a nice dark location, is just using a pair of binoculars, ones with bigger openings, but not like super high magnification. And I had bought this pair right here, which is kind of an unusual pair of binoculars because look at how short they are, but they've got a very large opening. So they're very low magnification, but they greatly increase the amount of light you can see. So if you want to look at, before I started the stream, I was looking at Orion, the whole constellation. Like you can see the whole constellation in the frame in the field of view at once, and I could definitely see more of the nebula. Like there's a bit more, like it's 2x or 3x magnification, so you can kind of get in there and you can kind of see that there's something more than just a star where the Orion Nebula is, and you can kind of see the nebulosity. And I have a feeling like in a dark sky, it would be really kind of neat. I had these other astronomical binoculars that were like huge and kind of unwieldy, but I like these. Like I say, I'd forgotten I had these, and I may do something about them at some point because they're surprisingly heavy, though. It's interesting because as short as they are, because they've got a metal body, but it's like all glass in there. But these are kind of cool. What I wanted to do is look at the Andromeda Galaxy with those, but it was already on the other side of the house. Let me switch back to the... So here we are at like 2 minutes. Like I don't know that I've gotten... Like there's definitely some more detail like in here, like more fainter stars are visible. But nothing too outrageous. But yeah, I might stop it at like 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes. But more than 3 minutes has elapsed because there's so many bad frames, and I think it's purely because of the wind. Plus, I have it on that taller tripod with the pier. I might try doing it again at some point next time without the pier, because that might make it a little bit more wobbly from the wind. It's like all these trade-offs, all these things you don't necessarily think about that don't affect normal photography or whatever typically. Anyway, that's nice. But one thing you can see, like you can really see, so I have this light pollution filter off, so nice result, but you can definitely see kind of this sky glow and just other kind of artifacts. Let's see. I wonder, let me see what else. You know what I want to do? Let me see if I can do this. Actually, I want to look something up on my computer. This one thing I had looked at. Please bear with me while I look up what that target was. I'm going to my website. It was actually I should let me see if I can do this without doing something weird. Can I do this? Hey, it worked. Cool. I've had some misfires here, but so these were some photos. This is what I was talking about, where I was able to get the Flame Nebula and the Horsehead in the same frame, and then this one where the field rotated even more, and it was almost right below it. No, I'm not doing any of these. M105. Yeah, see, I think the problem was, see, this was at 2 in the morning. I'm not going to go that late on this stream. It was, I kept seeing, I kept seeing targets, and I just kept going, and the conditions were so good. This was like a week or two ago. Let's see what there might be, because I think all this stuff, sorry, I'm just scrolling quickly. M65, Leo triplets. See, that's not going to be up till like midnight. Like around midnight, I'd be able to see it. So none of that. Let's see if there's anything here. If I can't find anything that grabs my attention, I might just end the stream, just because I'm not going to, like if I end up running this for another couple hours, I'm not going to run the stream all night. I could, but maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I'll do, like I was saying, if I have like more to talk about, I might do like a full kind of, maybe do a 2-hour stream where I'm like capturing photos, but then also talking about stuff. Because I can do like this split screen here, where it's not kind of the normal, where I'm in the corner, but, where you could actually see. But I don't think I'll do that tonight. Let me see. California Nebula. No, that's to the northwest. I thought that said Halley's Coronet. I thought it said Halley's Comet. I'm like, wait, that's not for another few decades. And I'm like, oh wait, never mind. Coronet. Trifid Nebula. Running Man. I mean, do I want to go back? Maybe I go back to Running Man. I'll put a pin in that. Monkey Head. The names are funny. I always like the names people have come up with for some of these targets. That does look like a banana. That banana nebula there. At least the small frame looks like a banana. But see, most of these are too low in the sky. They're probably more spring or summer targets, or if middle of the night targets. Yeah. Let me let me go back to this and see what it says the current best is. Yeah, that's southwest. And Jupiter, I know, is already obstructed by my house. So Spider Nebula, north, east. No, I think the house is in the way. Flaming Star, California. Jellyfish. That's the one that that's another one that I've taken some photos of, and it ended up tracking into the house, and I need to try to recover those. It's funny, like some of the photos in this catalog, see the this IC 353, it's got a satellite through the image. Unfortunately, there's a lot more of that in recent decades. Monkey head, where's that? Maybe we do monkey head? I don't know if I've actually done the monkey head yet. Some of these, they have interesting names, but you really have to take a long exposure of it to really kind of do it justice. I'm 32, nope. I was thinking I wanted to try doing Thor's helmet. I think I'd wanted to do a galaxy, but I don't know that there's any that I... Yeah, that one, no. Again, the elevation, it's like, it's a combination of how high up in the sky and which direction. But this is what I end up having to do. So now you see kind of you're getting to see how the sausage is made, as it were. I end up like having to kind of look at these and figure out what I can possibly take a photo of. But I mean, Casper Ghost is kind of okay. Where's Running Man? Let's see where Running Man is. Wait. Let me look for it. Sorry. Running Man. Okay. Okay. I've gotten this, and it's interesting because this view of Orion, like this is Orion down here, the Orion Nebula. Like this is a heavily kind of exposed image where you can kind of see the nebulosity like way out, but it kind of completely blows out the middle of it. But one thing so one thing is I've gotten kind of the edge of this nebula, but I don't know that I've actually taken a photo of it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I was like, it's taking a long time to point to this target. I guess we were kind of far away. Oh yeah, because it was Salt and Pepper was kind of more that direction, and Orion's that way. So it is. I'm just looking outside to see if it's if the cloud if like haze is rolled in, but it still looks clear. There we go. Okay. I think I might, unless there's other suggestions, I might just kind of kick this off. Oh, nice. Nice. Well, hello there from Brazil. M42. That's cool. I'm pointing at the same constellation. So let me try this. But yeah, this might be the last target for the evening. Like I say, this was kind of an experiment. I didn't want to. The problem is, like, there's some good things later in the evening, in the night, and in a few weeks, they'll be around this time. So I'll probably, I don't want to have streams too late, but we'll see. And I might do one from another, like I was saying, from another location, from a family member's backyard where they have more sky visibility, not necessarily darker skies, although maybe a little darker. But then at least I can, and maybe once the weather's a little, the weather's pretty mild here right now, as you can tell. I mean, I'm wearing like a t-shirt. Maybe you didn't see it, but I'm wearing a t-shirt. It's a little cool, but not that cold. At least not today. But once it's a little warmer, I might do the whole session outside. Because with this camera, it's not like some Sony cameras, but it's reasonable in the low light. So I could do some outdoor video, and I think that might be kind of cool, doing kind of an outdoor live stream. But yeah, you can start seeing the beginning of the nebulosity here. I don't know that we'll be able to get to the full Running Man. But if I end up ending it on this target, I'll just let it keep going, and I'll post the photo on maybe on the community board. Oh yeah, and this is cool. So you can see. Oops, I'm like. You can see in the corner here. You know, that's down towards Orion there. But yeah, I might end it soon. Just because I have a feeling this is going to take a while. I mean, it's already captured a minute and a half. It just failed again with it just failed again stacking it. Since you asked, any visible galaxy, let me, while I'm having this process, let me try once again just to see if there's anything that that would be worth picking up. The problem is there's some nice targets in like 2 or 3 hours. And Andromeda's nice, but I can't see it. I mean, it's already blocked by the house. Galaxy. NGC. Yeah, west. I can't see west. It's really kind of a drag. No, I mean, it's trade-offs. Triangulum, squid. Yeah, southwest. Hidden galaxy. There's one, the Phantom Galaxy. When this was further to the east, I was able to get some exposure of it, but it certainly doesn't. It's a smaller target, and it's fairly faint. M32, nope, northwest. M110, nope. North, no, I think that one's also not visible. Although, you know, northeast. Let me see. No, it's blocked. If there was something to the southeast, I could probably get it, but not to the northeast. It's just northeast. That's too low. But yeah, it's just total failure at this time from my backyard. And these are all too low. Anything that's like under 40 degrees of up in the sky, I can't see at all. Except for like to the southeast, I can see a little bit lower. These are all too low or not visible. Leo triplet. And see, that's another reason why I want to do this again, either from a better location and also like in another month or whenever, but definitely when things have rotated a bit and I can see where some of these things are, like you see most all of these are not currently visible. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I'll just kind of leave it on the Running Man, and I'll just leave it on the Running Man, and oops, and I'll post the photo later after it's run for a bit. Although it looks like it trailed again. Now, the good thing is, based on that video I did with Cyril, I can remove some of these frames and reprocess it. I'll probably go ahead and just post like the raw result and then maybe reprocess it and post that as well. But yeah, it's not the not the ideal conditions today, but it technically from a technical point of view, it was successful. So that's all I wanted here, and I appreciate everybody who joined, and I will probably just I'm just waiting to see, because there's sometimes a lag with the stream. I'm just waiting to see if anybody says anything. But I'll leave it at that, and hope you all have a good rest of your evening, and I will I'll be doing my normal live stream during the day, Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I am going to leave it at that. Have a good evening, and yeah, have a good evening, and I'll see you all later.